Greetings! I am Barbosa the Red, and welcome to the study. Today is a special day because this is my first ever YouTube video, so welcome in. We are going to be reading some of this. Let's get started. I hope you're prepared. Chapter 2 Odin, the father of gods and men. Odin, Woden, was the highest and holiest god of the northern races. He was the all-pervading spirit of the universe, the personification of the air, the god of universal wisdom and victory, and the leader and protector of princes and heroes, as all the gods were supposed to be descended from him. He was surnamed All-Father, and as eldest and chief among them, he occupied the highest seat in Asgard, known by the name of Hlidskjalf. This chair was not only an exalted throne, but also a mighty watchtower, from whence he could overlook the whole world and see, at a glance, all that was happening among gods, giants, elves, dwarves, and men. From the hall of heaven he rode away, to Hlidskjalf and sate upon his throne, the mount from whence his eye surveys the worlds, and far from heaven he turned his shining orbs to look on Midgard and the earth and men. Balder Dead, Matthew Arnold. Now we're going to talk about Odin's appearance. None but Odin and his wife and queen, Frigga, were privileged to use this seat, and when they occupied it, they generally gazed towards the south and west, the goal and hopes of all the excursions of the northern nations. Odin was generally represented as a tall, vigorous man, about 50 years of age, either with dark curling hair or with a long gray beard and bald head. He was clad in a suit of gray, with a blue hood, and his muscular body was enveloped in a wide blue mantle flecked with gray, an emblem of the sky with its fleecy clouds. In his hand Odin generally carried the infallible spear, Gungnir, which was so sacred that an oath sworn upon its point could never be broken. And on his finger, or his arm, he wore the marvelous ring Draupnir, the emblem of fruitfulness, precious beyond compare. When seated upon his throne, or armed for the fray, to mingle in which he would often descend to earth, Odin wore his eagle helmet, but when he wandered peacefully about the earth in human guise, to see what men were doing, he generally donned a broad-brimmed hat, drawn low over his forehead, to conceal the fact that he possessed but one eye. Two ravens, Hugin and Munin, perched upon his shoulders as he sat upon his throne, and these he sent out into the wide world every morning, anxiously watching for their return at nightfall, when they whispered into his ears news of all they had seen and heard. Thus, he was kept well informed about everything that was happening upon the earth. Hugin and Munin fly each day over the spacious earth. I fear for Hugin that he come not back, yet more anxious am I for Munin. Norse Mythology, R.B. Anderson. At his feet crouched two wolves, or hunting hounds, Geri and Freki, animals which were therefore considered sacred to him, and of good omen if met by the way. Odin always fed these wolves with his own hands from meat set before him. He required no food at all for himself, and seldom tasted anything except the sacred mead. Geri and Freki, the war-wont sates, the triumphant sire of hosts, but on wine only the famed in arms Odin ever lives. Lay of Grimnir, Thorpe's translation. When seated in state upon his throne, Odin rested his feet upon a footstool of gold, the work of the gods, all of whose furniture and utensils were fashioned either of that precious metal or of silver. Besides the magnificent hall Gladsheim, where stood the 12 seats occupied by the gods when they met in council, and Valaskjalf, where his throne, Hlidskjalf, was placed. Odin had a third palace in Asgard, situated in the midst of the marvelous grove Glacier, whose shimmering leaves were of red gold. All right. That's a good intro for Odin and his appearance. And next time we make a video, we'll be talking about Valhalla and maybe a tale or two about Odin himself. Have a good day, everybody. Signing off.